What's up, everybody? I'm Lou, and this is Metal Lens Reviews. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my channel. So, if this happens to be your first time here, you check it out, you like what you see, thank you. Please do me the favor of like, comment, subscribe. As I mentioned before, it really helps me grow the channel, spread it to the masses, and of course motivates me to provide you guys more content. Alright, so this is a special request from abroad. Italy, that's right, my people. This gentleman got in touch with me via email, Federico, and he's from a atmospheric black metal band. Now, mind you, this guy he's a one-man band, does everything himself. Really, really cool. Esox. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Esox, Esox. And he just goes on to explain to me how, he wanted me to check out, the most recent album that he's putting out. Went down the list, hey, I think you should hear this, react to it. It was specific for 2 songs. I pick this one, and it's a concept album. Watery Grave, and the song is called As I Descend Above the Water. I love these titles, by the way. It's not my main bag of the metal branch. Metal has a lot of subgenres and genres that spread apart. Black metal, I've always found fascinating. I've tried to get into them over the years, but it's like a tug of war. I do appreciate it. It has a very exploitive history, and it's interesting seeing other countries approach black metal. Now, this particular branch, this atmospheric, it's very instrumental heavy. There's lyrics, there's vocals, obviously, but they're, see, how can I put it? You'll hear it in a second, but like disembodied, kind of like if they're coming from some spirit realm, but not from an actual vocalist. I'm actually excited because when it's enough to get like a 5-piece band, have 5 members conjure up some music, especially when it comes to black metal. It's a very specific approach to that. But a one-man band approaching it, well, that's, the sky's the limit. So, and he goes on to say here, he recommends this, his band, the fans of Ahab, Death Heaven, Death in June, Soul Invictus, and, so on and so forth. So, there's a lot of exposition and, things he recommends. And like I said, this is a concept album. And according to him, it's Watery Grave. It's about a man committing suicide by drowning. And as he dies, he reflects on life, death, nature, and the human species. It has been in the works for the last 5 years. And it combines, atmospheric black metal with post-rock, doom metal, and neo-folk influences. So this, I'm excited. I guess all that's left is to play the track. This is a 10-minute track, so it's good. It's a lengthy one, and it's going to be like a book, pretty much, going through a lengthy novel, and me doing my best commentary on it. All right, so thanks again, Federico, for getting in touch with me, my fellow paisan from Italy. This is his band, Esox, and the song is called As I Descend Above Water. Let's check it out. Just gonna pause it right there. So yeah, so a beautiful intro, by the way. That was very, dare I say, angelic. Just, sensual, smooth. I like the build up, and then boom, we go right into the main piece right here. Almost kind of like an orchestra number, just without the orchestra. How it just kind of gradually builds, and the conductor kind of raises the bar every step of the measure, and then you have this. So the lyrics, like I said, I'm not going to dive in. I should say the vocal style, reminiscent of, definitely early black metal, some modern black metal. Like I said, I don't follow it that much. Very, harsh, raspy, blood-curdling, kind of puts me in mind of Mayhem a little bit. That's what I get. But I love the, I'm going to say softness. That's the wrong word there. Just kind of what's going on in the background. Like I said, this is classified as atmospheric black metal, so there's a lot going on in the back, which is pretty cool. And it's almost kind of like how a story envelops. If you've ever read a Stephen King novel, he's focused on not just the narrative, but what's going on in the background too. The clock on the wall, the paint that's peeling, weird stuff like that. And there's the main driving force of this song, plus what's going on in the background too, which makes it kind of full and well-rounded, if you ask me. Let's keep going. just have to comment on this section right here. This is excellent. This is beautiful, man. Wow. I think we've already established that Federico here is already a very talented musician, for orchestrating, and like, there's programs that could help you, put together your work. But this is very clean, very, I don't know if he's working off of like Pro Tools or in a studio. Whatever the case, Federico, you're doing awesome here so far. And it's like getting the best of both worlds. It's like when you buy like let's say, no, that's not right. When you watch a movie or like a trilogy or something, like Creepshow, for example, the horror movie Creepshow. It's like, I don't know, it was like five episodes with like a wraparound. So you're getting a little bit of taste of different stories developing, So it's one whole song, but it's the sections are what not just give it the length, but quality too, and to make it seamless too. That seems like, I'm sure this was broken down section by section, but to hear it, live and like right now, it's seamless. It follows a good narrative path, and the musicianship is excellent. And like I said, I really don't have anything negative to say. All right, let's keep going. Something I just wanted to add to the transitions. Now, this song is just one developing kind of run. As I mentioned before, it goes through sections. Kind of keeps you, okay, what's going to happen next? And another transition. So it doesn't really follow like a linear kind of style, verse, chorus, verse. This being atmospheric, black metal, and, kind of a different structure, different pace. Not that this is the only band that does that. I know other bands, but Federico here, or Esox, I should say. It's just, it's well composed, and like I said, there's no harsh stops. You could tell he crafted this, and it's just kind of one kind of rhythmic, section with different developments. Very traditional black metal, very gritty, raw, in your face, not polished, but also not sloppy either. It's how black metal is supposed to be displayed. You have different sections and different styles of black metal, a subgenre within a subgenre. And this is kind of harkens back to the old Norwegian, early 90s, I want to say. Like I said, Mayhem comes to view. There was a lot of bands at the time. But yeah, this is definitely a perfect example of it, and with, Esox, I guess, twist on it. Obviously not every band's going to be a carbon copy of their inspiration. They're going to take what they know. Kind of like a writer, you write what you know, and then you incorporate your own material and make it unique. This is what they're doing here. Yeah, let's play it out and give you guys my final thoughts. Nice. Will always love a fade out, man. Well, you know what? For a 10-minute song, not bad. It didn't feel like 10 minutes to me, Just kind of just went along with it. It was good. Like I said, it's definitely different. Like I said, just honest right off the bat, black metal's not my preferred genre. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you everything I know about it. All I know is that it's definitely prominent in the metal universe. People that listen to black metal are very intimate and I don't want to say controlling, but defensive when it comes to it, and will definitely call out fake black metal bands or black and death metal. But like I said, there's so many subgenres and iterations of this. But this to me felt very traditional, mixed in with that atmospheric style, so it was very open, very wide. Like I said, you had the forefront of the song plus what was going on, and I love the transitions between the melodic parts, the heavy parts. I didn't feel like there was too much kind of stop and go. It felt very seamless and just different. And this is a very this too is also now anyway, kind of a crowded genre. I want to say that while this being black metal somewhat niche, has a very selective audience. I see it branching out more and more every day, and that's just out of boredom, I guess. A lot of metal fans are tired of listening to, metalcore or other, acts that are, I guess, commercial. So they want more obscure and niche acts such as black metal. And Federico, I think he did a great job. Esox, once again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I thought it was good. I thought it was a great attempt, and I'm going to go ahead and listen to other tracks off this one and whatever else you have on your channel here, just to get some context. But I mean, for the first time listening and giving you my true reaction here, this was cool. It's somber, the tone fits. Very black metal, but you kept it interesting enough where I wasn't kind of bored, because it was like this. It was like a those Russian egg doll things, You pull one out, there's another one. You pull one out, and they get smaller. So this, in that sense, the song just enveloped, and like I said, having that atmospheric touch, it was very just out there, spacey. It was like being in kind of an echo chamber, and just kind of spacing out. And I mean, like I said, I didn't deep dive into the lyrics because I just there's a lot going on there, but as far as concept wise, I think he nailed it, and it was very interesting. And like I said, to have it the length that it is, to keep it interesting, that's a challenge on itself. Like I said, there's a lot of competition, but you already know that. But yeah, once again, Esox, I thought this was good. Definitely, you know, kind of stands out from your typical or commercial black metal. And yeah, it's not going to be everyone's taste. Not everyone's going to appreciate or enjoy this. I get that. But for what it is, for someone to take the time to knock a song like this out, I think that's worth noticing. So, bravo. There you have it. That was Esox with As I Descend Above the Water. Great recommendation. Thank you once again, Federico. Like I said, I'm going to listen to some of the other tracks here, you know, privately, just to wrap my head around it more. And who knows? I might hit you up and do another reaction, you know, see how this one does, you know. But I personally, I digged it. I love these indie kind of tracks. I love the fact, like I said, even though if I'm not like, you know, jumping for joy or, you know, all that crazy stuff, I do appreciate it. Like I said, I love, you know, you guys are keeping the scene alive, not just in Italy, but throughout, you know, America, internationally, everywhere. So, you know, as long as we keep metal alive, I'm happy. And I was, you know, interested to see what happens next. Alright, guys, well, there you have it. If you made this far in the video, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to throw me a recommendation, any of you, international, local, what have you, or what I contribute to the channel anyway, I'll leave a link down below entitled Buy Me a Coffee. You could do it through that. Other than that, my friends, thanks again for watching. And as always, I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace.